The content of this video will deal with facts, which is proven by science today. However, some facts are purposely kept away from the public educational arena and mainstream science. Some facts must also be searched for at a deeper, higher level. Some are also found in the mystery school teachings, secret societies, and religions. These facts, however, are mixed in the guise of philosophical and theological thoughts, which are also mixed in with half-truths and fiction.
Experiences encounter challenges and scatters to the winds the very foundations that embedded science has built its precious castles in the air upon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are here to dissolve those chains. Those amongst us who are genuine speak out to enlighten and inform, because we know in our hearts that we have to. Despite the ever-present dangers to our well-being of doing so, we offer our hearts and we bare our souls to the world. Because what we are sharing with everyone who is ready to listen is unquestionably to do with the most pressing and literally vital truth facing the continuance and welfare of humanity and this world. And it really is the biggest secret. Of course, as light surfaces, darkness descends, aiming to infiltrate or swoop in from the other side. It hasn't escaped my notice that as more of us have been awakening to our purpose and speaking publicly about our encounters and other world journeys, so too has the dark side rallied. There are hoaxers, tricksters, manipulators, plants and liars, masquerading and muddying the waters. But also there are, helped along by the corrupted institutions of religion, media, education and government, etc., scale-eyed members, some from the clinical wing of the bat, who have been witlessly declaring that God is hokey. There is a God, a supreme creator, however you want to term it, neither male nor female. Perhaps all of us who share these experiences know that. I know I do. And we are just as acutely aware of the dark side, the dog and pony dual personality that I call the darkness invisible, the ghost in the machine of the grand design emanating from God's dream. For a long time now, this darkness has directed our world through its offices of control, and it has always done this subliminally, through the powerful forces of fear and temptation hiding in the light, and the voice of the Great Spirit from those who fall for its alluring promises and threats, until in their blindness they proclaim, there is no intelligent designer, there is no Great Spirit. But just as the sky at night, even in the blackest departments of the darkness, points out, points of light do shine out, and from the paradigm-controlled department science recently came this. Yet more evidence emerges that our universe is a grand simulation created by an intelligent designer. And a new scientific paper published in Archive and co-authored by Silas Bean from the University of Bonn reveals strong statistical evidence that our reality is indeed a grand computer simulation. If you want to have a look at that, you can see that on the internet.
Statements of some scientists posing that man is an image, everything experienced is temporary and deceptive, and this universe is a shadow, seems to be proven by science in our day. In order to better grasp this secret behind matter, let us be reminded of our information about our sense of sight, which provides us with the most extensive information about the external world. The act of seeing is realized progressively. At the instance of seeing, light clusters called photons travel from the object to the eye and pass through the eye lens, where they are refracted and focus on the retina at the back of the eye. Here, rays are turned into electrical signals and then transmitted by neurons to the center of vision at the back of the brain. The act of seeing actually takes place in this center in the brain. All the images we view in our lives and all the events we experience are actually experienced in this tiny and dark place. Both the film you are now watching and the boundless landscape you see when you gaze at the horizon actually fit into this place of a few cubic centimeters. Now, let us reconsider this information more carefully. When we say we see, we actually see the effect the rays reaching our eyes form in our brain by being converted into electric signals. When we say we see, we actually observe the electrical signals in our brain. By the way, there is another point that has to be kept in mind. The brain is sealed to light, and its interior is absolutely dark. Therefore, it is never possible for the brain to contact with light itself. We can explain this interesting situation with an example. Let us suppose that in front of us there is a burning candle, and we view its light. During this period, when we view the candle's light, the inside of our skull and our brain are in absolute darkness. The light of the candle never illuminates our brain and our center of vision. However, we watch a colorful and bright world inside our dark brain.
But then who would really be stupid enough to believe that the 5 physical senses of human beings are capable of perceiving everything around us? That's the very slim, thank you, range of our sight compared to what is possible. And those arrows go both ways infinitely. And the range of our hearing in the physical sense. I wonder if the people who first used microscopes and telescopes face the same amount of ridicule as those who began capturing life outside our physical senses, abilities, with digital cameras. These are just some shots that were taken of other world creatures with digital cameras. And these were taken with 35mm cameras. That's the energy beam there going into my office. Someone looking at me.
I got a message from Anthony Patch regarding an article that was published in the American Journal of Modern Physics. Apparent detection via new telescopes with concave lenses of otherwise invisible terrestrial entities, ITE. It was published by the Thunder Energies Corporation, Florida, USA. Ruggero Maria Santilli is the man behind this, and here's the citation for the article. I'll read you the abstract. Here's what it says, quote, "By using telescopes with concave lenses known as Santilli telescopes, trademark and patent pending by the U.S. publicly traded company Thunder Energies Corporation, we review preceding evidence for the apparent existence of antimatter galaxies, antimatter asteroids, and antimatter cosmic rays. Independently from these astrophysical detections, we present for the first time evidence for the apparent existence of entities in our terrestrial environment that are solely visible via telescopes with concave lenses, while being invisible to our eyes, and to conventional Galileo telescopes with convex lenses, which entities leave dark images in the background of digital cameras attached to the Santilli telescopes. These entities are here called invisible terrestrial entities of the first kind, ITE-1 or dark ITE. We then present, also for the first time, evidence for the apparent existence in our terrestrial environment of additional entities that are also visible to telescopes via concave lenses while being invisible to our eyes, and to conventional telescopes with convex lenses, which entities leave bright images in the background of digital cameras. These additional entities are here called invisible terrestrial entities of the second kind, ITE-2 or bright ITE. It is pointed out that both types of entities generally move in the night sky over sensitive areas, and their behavior generally suggests unauthorized surveillance. This paper has been motivated by the significance and diversification of the collected evidence, as well as available independent confirmations that warrant systematic inspection of the sky over our sensitive civilian, industrial, and military installations via telescopes with concave lenses, so as to detect possible unauthorized surveillance. So there you have it. Evidence for entities that aren't seen to the naked eye but can be seen by these telescopes with concave lenses here. I'll leave a link to the PDF in the description section so you can look at it for yourself, but there are pictures here in the article that allege the data that's being found here. Here are a couple of images that were taken of alleged ITE-1 or dark ITEs. This was taken on September 5th, 2015 in the evening sky over Tampa Bay, Florida. And interestingly enough, it says here, quote, "It should be indicated that ITE-1 appear to be located mostly in the areas of terrestrial or lunar orbits. By contrast, ITE-2 are generally located directly over sensitive civilian, industrial, and military installations and appear to behave in a way strongly suggesting their unauthorized surveillance." So again, they're admitting that they seem to be looking at us or watching us somehow, and I find it interesting that these dark ITEs are mostly found in the atmosphere in lunar orbits, but then these bright ITEs are seen much closer to the surface. And I've pointed this out before, but it's worth mentioning again, Ephesians 6:12, the famous passage about how we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, powers, principalities, so forth. And one of the entities that we fight against is in the Greek, cosmocrators, or ruler of this world. And if you look at the definition that Strong's gave of cosmocrators, it says it's a ruler of this world, that is, of the world as asserting its independence of God, used of the angelic or demonic powers controlling the sublunary world, so the world between the moon and the earth. Very fascinating.